Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Shivani Sood, and I'm really happy to inspire you with the students of the Ayurvedic Consultant Course Level 1 who have studied the course and changed their life, but they have been changing their life from before. So, life is all about taking the action you need when it's needed to be taken, and Ayurvedic guidance can really be unique because it's specifically for you. So, here's Gabrielle. She just completed the ACOC 1 7th edition. Hello, Gabriel. How are you?
Hi, good morning from Ibiza.
Hi from Ibiza. It's such a beautiful place to be. So, tell us a little bit more about yourself, dear.
Yeah, I used to be in the corporate world, working very hard, very long hours, in the city of London, UK. And back in 2012, I reached a point where my whole body and my mind was telling me, hey, you have to stop this. You need a change in your life. Which meant that basically I took a drastic decision to leave Europe, and I went traveling and discovered lots of beautiful places, lots of beautiful people, and also food, which I've always been very interested in food, but I never kind of looked into it as a way of life. And in Asia, I could see. I was living in Bali and further away in other places in Indonesia, and there I learned from the local women a lot of their traditions and how they value food. And I've seen that there were some Ayurvedic principles used by them, even though they didn't necessarily refer to it as Ayurveda. And now back in Europe, I chef and I work with food. And this is how I got interested in learning more about Ayurveda.
Right, right. Great. So, what a journey from corporate to Ayurvedic food and nutrition and healthy lifestyle. So, how did you feel with Ayurvedic Consultant Course Level 1? Because you're in the case that you were introduced, but you did not have any formal education with Ayurveda before. So, this was your first time studying Ayurveda. And how the style what I really teach is like really to not know a lot and being lost, but to have a concrete structure to see the patterns and give advices. So you're not used to the other style, because you know the other interview students were telling about their other experience of the course, but it's your first experience with coming in contact in such a deep way. What changes happened in you with the course?
So I'll first address the first part of your question there. I always loved learning, and I think being very structured in my learning, I was expecting probably from the course kind of a textbook, and you know, this is how you follow kind of Ayurveda and all that. So when we started the course, I was like, wow, fascinated by your way of teaching, which was more practical. Um, which I think is key. It really is key in anything today, that we need to understand that you cannot just take a theory and apply it. You really need to understand the various people you are speaking to and dealing with. And for me, that's probably, it changed my way of thinking and my way of learning, because then instead of just saying, oh, a particular trend or particular pattern is reflective of this particular dosha, rather to thinking that is looking at the whole picture as you taught us. And I thought that's much more interesting, because everybody is so individual, and it's really and that's what I've taken away from you, really, that we should look at every situation, applying the theory, but actually not being very strict and narrow focus, but looking at the wider picture. So for me, it's the way I look at people today, the way that, you know, when people are talking to me, I'm actually looking beyond what they're saying, looking at who they are, and how their thinking has been formed by obviously their upbringing, and also by what they're eating, and by their dosha. the constitution.
Right. I like the sentence where you said you expected a textbook and, something to start in this way. But, isn't it like we have a beautiful community with our class, studying and meeting all the participants, talking, interacting. And I love the part when I have the personal consultations with you, because that gives me a greater opportunity to help you with the course, to see what you need. Because in the end, aren't we doing all these courses to find some deep answers for ourselves?
For sure. I mean, that's the daily quest, really.
Right.
What am I doing in this world, and how can I help?
Yeah.
How can, what is my purpose here, and how can I help leave a positive impact on the world? And I think it's beautiful because, yeah, I've learned a lot from you of how you look at things, and your experience, and also from interacting with the other members in the course. For sure, that's really eye-opening. And yeah, Ayurveda, I came into this course thinking that Ayurveda is mainly focused on nutrition, but I learned that there is much more to it, especially the psychology part and emotional part, which for me was a big discovery.
Exactly. The gut and the mind are so much connected, the whole process of thinking is fueled by the gut. So it's all interconnected. And one of the mistakes what we can do is taking a lot of courses, like psychology, nutrition and everything, and connecting it with ourselves. Because if we try to do it all by ourselves, I'm sometimes amazed, because I ask students like, okay, what did you understand from what you learned? And they have less idea about what they understood from what they learned, because we all have our own interpretation. So getting guidance on expert level really helps you to see how to connect it yourself, and learning the process enables you to show life that you are capable of handling the challenges it's throwing on a nutritional level, on a psychological level, on a personal level. And don't you think the course reduces the judgment inside a person?
For sure. I mean, I think one of the most beautiful things that you taught us was the daily mirror exercise, where you look into your eyes and you love yourself. And I think that's so important, and it makes you love yourself, and therefore you're judging yourself less, for sure.
Exactly. Actually, when we're going through struggles, or when we are, not feeling healthy, then we just want some solution. But the solution truly comes from learning and discovering who you are, what you have been through. And I would love to tell anybody, like if I would have this special talent to tell the solution in 1 hour to anybody. But the true thing is, like, you have to study the whole life for it. So a process is really important, that we can look at all the chapters of it. And from that point, guidance is much more easier, because, guidance is not really coming from outside. It's always adjusting your own inner vibrations in a way that it progresses instead of pulls you back, because you are who you are. You can't change that, but you can rearrange things to be more healthy and happier, definitely.
I think the beauty is from of Ayurveda is that you are teaching people how to understand and heal themselves. And I think it's what we need in this world, because we are so used to, oh, we'll go to a doctor, he will treat this symptom and we're done. No, it doesn't.
Oh,
Life
it's
is not like that.
yes, exactly. Doctors can help you when you need a prescription, if you're being in a mess, if there's infection in your blood, high level, but they are not telling you how to declutter your mind and de-stress. And nowadays everybody's saying do yoga, but but yoga is one part. You actually need the answers from your own life. So who do you think would benefit from Ayurvedic consultant course level 1?
Everybody. No, I think people who are already on a journey of self-discovery, and who want to understand, how our thoughts affect how we feel, and also how our food affects how we feel, and looking at a holistic picture rather than just looking at everything individually. So I would say anyone who's in a stage where they would like to find out more about where they come from in terms of um, where they're at emotionally, and where they're going, if you like, in the future. So it's bringing, it's creating that picture of who you are, what's your purpose, and how do you take care of yourself.
Yes. I think so. Yes, this is the most common answer I understand. But what I specifically recommend people to do this course, especially the one who have information in fragments, a
Mm.
little bit here, because they are used to the process of learning, and they really open up well with the structure of the course, because it's quite structured. So it's never about the quantity you study. It's always about finding a structure. And even with the level 1, you are confident with a basic consultation, and you're very clear about your structure, about what you're offering. Because I have seen in the group, we have a WhatsApp group of the students together, and they ask doubts, and Gabrielle is mostly telling the right answer. So with which I see that, have you done consultations, or you just answer it? Okay.
Yeah, no, I am doing, and my friends love it now, because now they can use their constitution as their excuse. Oh yeah, that's because I'm pitta. This is because I'm kapha.
Right. It's so important to know who you are, and I'm glad they're enjoying this. But I could see that you're practicing with the basic consultant. And do you feel confident to do a basic consultation?
Yes, for sure. Of course, I don't think I'm a doctor at this stage at all, but definitely it's just basic everyday um, ways of relating to other people, to yourself, to your food. Very simple advice that you can give in terms of taking care of yourself. And I think it's a beautiful thing that I'm able to do this already with just doing the basic course.
Exactly. You just finished a month before, in December you had your exams, and now we're just in February. But
Yeah.
what is really important is, Gabriel, that it is really not important that any consultant is a doctor, but people don't know this information. They don't know how to live their everyday life. And as a result, there's a lot of unhappiness coming, because the self identification and being comfortable with yourself, this knowledge is completely missing. So the role, doctors are giving you 10-15 minutes to tell you what you need to do, medicine and so on. But every disease comes with a responsibility beyond. And the responsibility beyond is that what's your part in that disease to do to heal. And what's your part, nobody is there to tell you. So even a basic consultant can tell you with the clear structure what you need to do. And that same structure progresses into a wider structure, telling you more about diseases. But nowhere it is like replacing medical doctors. It's about really giving support to your own health, and being vigilant before you're sick. Because why should we fall sick and then start taking care of ourselves, right? But everybody is in the same road, including me. We all fall sick and then we take care. But at least let's try to bring the knowledge to the people, that they could do much beyond just uh, eating. They could just understand their life and bring in great happiness.
Yeah, for sure. And I think um, also you feel, when you have a consultation on Ayurveda, you feel more understood as a patient, because the consultant is also not just looking at the symptoms, looking at who you are as a person, and being able to connect the dots. And then the patient is more um, is happy that he can actually, or she can actually, understand how it all comes together, and therefore they can see the pattern, and then they can see, oh, okay, so if I eat this food, I'm going to feel this way, or if I feel this way, I should eat this food, or I should do some pranayama or some yoga, or so then it empowers the patient, which I think is really nice.
Right. Well, I have to tell you, with my experience of the consultations I have done, is that once you take 5 right decisions based on your dosha, you are so motivated to continue.
Hmm.
Because you finally like, now it's going in the direction that I am getting comfortable with myself. I'm discovering my strength. I just have to continue. So this thing is happening with Ayurveda, that you're no longer mystified with all this information thrown around you. Like today morning, I was reading how keto diet is causing cancer, and the high amounts of fat is causing cancer. And how many people I know are posting their pictures with weight loss with keto without thinking about the whole picture about why the weight gain is happening and how to really treat it holistically. So holistic treatment does give you drastic results with the way it transforms you completely. Like if you want to renovate one room, it's always easier, right? Like, but if you want to renovate the whole house, it takes time. And that's how Ayurveda works. It renovates you completely, your complete house and your complete way of thinking. So I always suggest people not to really fall trap by anything which is done by anybody, and take time to know about what's right for their body, and that information is inside themselves. So thank you very much for joining me for this interview.
Totally.
And I wish that you continue helping people recognize their constitution and go deeper in the field of Ayurveda. All the best. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.